All right, we are live once again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining from today. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. My weekend's starting off here. It's early afternoon on a Saturday for me, and I am excited to be with you. Of course, as usual, my name is Jeremy. I am with Made Management. I own and operate a talent management company, and we look for talent worldwide. And today we are talking all things entertainment. We are looking to solve all the world's problems, but we have 1 hour to do that. We are definitely going to dive into it. And by the end, if you stay with us to the very end, we will have all those problems solved. So I hope you guys are ready for that. Good to see everybody today. Give me a shout out in the chat as we are talking. Let me know where you're joining me from. Love to see that. And also any questions that you have. I have a special guest with me today. I'm excited about this one. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. But feel free to put in your questions as we are here live talking with our special guests, and we'll try to address as many of your questions as we possibly can. So, without any further ado, let me see if my guest is here. There she is. Hello, we have the one and only
Hi.
Haydn Jones in the
How we
house
doing, lovelies?
today. Good to see you. Haydn,
Always
thank
a
you for joining me
pleasure.
today. It's been a minute since we've had a chance to chat, but today we want to get into solving all those world problems. So I hope you're
Oh,
ready.
indeed. That's absolutely what we do. Full brain surgery over here. 1000%. Absolutely. And go Rams. Congratulations on the season so far.
I figured since you were my guest today, I would sport my Rams hat. uh, Hayden, do you mind introducing yourself to everyone here who may not know who you are, haven't had the opportunity to meet you yet?
Of course.
Know who you are
Of
and what you currently do.
course. Hi, everybody. Happy weekend. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of our friends, domestic and or international. I'm Haydn Jones, owner and talent agent of Jones Collective. We're based in Los Angeles, but we represent talent of all ages and in all categories. That's commercial, VO, print, and TV film, and been working in this business for about 10 years now, going on 11, and been in Los Angeles around the same time. I'm a transplant myself. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, and to the end, the entertainment industry has been my career the whole time I've been here. So with the pleasures of and out of internships into discovering, agenting, then we found our career passion. And also I'm a fan first. So that's what makes this job so fun. Of all of my favorite TV shows and films, then putting that into place with my talent and performers that then audition for said projects is the time. So nice to meet all of you. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Jeremy.
Well, Veronica's joining us from Texas as well. So you have a fellow Texan here in the
Oh,
house with us
hello.
today.
Hello.
All right. Well, let's dive in to the world of entertainment, acting,
Mhm.
modeling, all that good stuff. So you run and operate Jones Collective based in New York. Or, I'm sorry, in LA. And you have always done that, or have you worked with other companies as well?
I wish I could say I've owned the whole time. No, I have a whole big old resume of where I trained in other spots, and that I've seen the variation of corporate boutique representation. I've previously worked at a company no longer, but Abrams Artist Agency, then known as A3 Artist Agency, and unfortunately now closed its doors post pandemic. And so of all of what it looks like when you have multiple departments, multi-hyphenate talent, and they're represented when we have multiple agents on the team, and bi-coastally, well, LA, New York, and we've then developed and opened on the side in the UK, in London, and from the true 360 representation, as we call it, that we have all of your pieces represented, especially when you grow in this industry from traditional on-camera performance of commercials and TV and voiceover, all the way to what does it look like when you have a brand, when you are a full entertainment hub. So as we all know, per pandemic, that then social medias and brand partnerships and content creation thrived, but to others that folks start writing their own scripts, they start directing their own projects, they start writing their own, they wish to in theater, or theater was their first love and they're jumping back to the stage or what have you. So also that trajectory of Broadway and New York changed from, rather than each set separate, you're either traditionally stage trained or traditionally on camera trained. The worlds have merged in that way as well. Folks either find that foundation in theater and then step into on camera, or on camera and the celebrity and A-lister are now seeing the theater. If you have, if you and the Tonys, even this past year, that there's a revival of Boulevard, a very classic Broadway piece. Andrew Lloyd Webber and Chloe Schlesinger from the Pussycat Dolls, of all musical groups, of all entities, comes to the stage. They'd been working on the show for the past 10 years, I believe, and she is the lead. She's wonderful. There was vocals I didn't know that she had grown into and had aged and seasoned herself into, and training so beautifully. Her Tony performance is, I would very much suggest you check it out. Also, Audra McDonald, the legend, the goat, Audra McDonald, in her revival of Gypsy performance. Mama Rose and her performance, and both of them were nominated for best female actor in a Broadway performance, and Nicole Schlesinger won, and which is wild to be, for her to come from the music world, and then now we see this stage performance of her career 20 years later, and just taking my breath away. Like it was incredible. But Audra McDonald, the GOAT, I always have to shout her out. But yes, two, having talent that have a lily pad through different performing areas, and to be able to represent them in all of them. It's a feat, but that's why it takes a full team. And I've also worked at agencies where they're called boutique. So then smaller rosters, more eclectic of people or choice of people for a roster, whether it's all ages, young performers and adults, or it's just adults, or it's just young performers under the age of 18. And to that end, you're very much making sure all of their needs are met, and say you're a talent agent, but you're working in a managerial style. So I bring all these assets, I bring all these things that I've learned last decade into then my own company. Take the good bits, bad bits, and then also make sure that all of it's the positive bits to be that educator, that resource, that so then in representation, you are raising, say, creatives, young performers, younger, as they grow and grow older, that then everyone is a unique individual you when it comes to your audition appointments, when it to your goals as an artist and the artist you wish to develop to become. So I know I'm a rare one when it comes to developing talent. There are those of, say, agencies where I've come, you are already a working talent or credits, and you are a SAG actor and you have a talent manager, and that talent manager is referring you to us. So then you're ready for us to just be at the ready to click that button and negotiate that offer of a contract, versus, say, what I've done majority of my career of young performers and adult performers is develop you from your humble beginnings and your grassroots to then that pure beginning basis of auditioning and self-taping and gaining the credits of your career to hopefully the long-term relationship that we keep. So then we're red carpet moments too.
I love it. So you're seeing a lot of, obviously we're all seeing this, but a lot of actors who are transitioning to other areas, or people from other areas of entertainment transitioning into acting or Broadway or any of that stuff, which is pretty remarkable, like you mentioned. But it just goes to show that today, in today's entertainment world, they're looking for anything and everything, but it's a small community,
Yes.
and it's easy to transition from, well, I wouldn't say easy to transition, but it's once you're inside and you're able to transition from singing to Broadway, or Broadway to film, or vice versa.
vice versa with the credits and the networks, sure. Majority of those casting networks are also multi-hyphenate. So when they're working on multiple projects, it's then very lucrative for a talent that has been seen, say, in one space and then casting another project, or especially for how the worlds are merging and also how uh like how much the shrinking that then casting are working multiple versions or multiple categories of projects, then you're seeing that casting director like in 3 different arenas thing.
Right. And the world's changing in the entertainment industry, and I think for two reasons. You have social media, and then you have all the streaming platforms that have really caused or drive the change.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, the streaming wars, as and other industry trades have coined it. But yes, to those contracts, to those working actor on camera contracts, those have also changed tremendously to where from commercials to voiceover to TV and film, and where say those advertisement dollars being spent. But yes, the world and project is changing, especially because of new media as well as social media. So all of then those talent contracts and agreements have changed over time as well for the structure of pay or otherwise. Streaming, especially, we're seeing our film talent now come into television, right? We're
Right.
seeing our then celebrity now come into that big streaming moment of seasons of 6 or 7 seasons of a show or limited series or its anthology sort of thing, and then that is what I would say shaking up the call sheet and definitely project budget being more towards that celebrity talent, and then budget a little bit less left for the incoming talent of the incoming throughout that series. So, it's definitely changed the game in that way, for sure.
Now you were mentioning awards. You mentioned the Tony Awards, of course, and
Yeah.
you didn't mention when you introduced yourself that you're an award winner yourself.
Oh, I do need to get better at that. Thank you very much. Um, yes, I have been by the Talent Managers Association, who host the Hellers, where talent agents are honored for their region and work category, and I'm honored by them in 2019 of at the working with young performers only, that being Youth Commercial Agent of the Year,
Nice.
and
Congratulations on that.
thank you. Thank you, thank you. Nomination in 2020, 2021. And, but and since I work with all ages and all performers, but yes, at the time, it was very, very nice to be awarded by my colleagues and noted by my managers that I am doing my job and doing it well. And, it was nice to have hardware to go with it, and sitting back in my parents' house back in Dallas of proof that the career is happening, and we all know in the arts and in the creative arts it is an inconsistent business. So it was nice to bring that family.
Nice. Well, that's a great honor to have, I'm sure. And you in the youth area,
Yeah.
what I like about you is you have this fresh newness about everything, right? They're excited. They're young. What are some of your? Can you share some success stories? I know that you've helped launch some people into the of
Yeah.
entertainment, but you worked a lot like commercials to begin with, a lot of
Mhm.
the talent. And what are some favorite moments that had happened with maybe somebody who is younger that you've seen?
Yeah. There's some. Oh, yes. So we currently have a performer who's a if anyone has young in the home and you've had to enjoy Nickelodeon Back Guardians, and we do have a young performer who's Uniqua, a little her voiceover, and it's been wonderful to see her grow in a short time. For young performers, that's how it goes. Like the timeline can be long. It is young performers like Play-Doh, especially for casting when they know they're working with young performers. It's like, well, we can go anywhere and we have imagination with anything that we could do. So when they're training and improv clicks and all of the things and activities that they are part of, whether they're in a band or they're in a sport or what have you, and all of that is also impactful when it comes to their acting as well. Learning to, of course, and be led in our world and be coached. That all of these aspects of their lives in to their acting to make them a wonderful performer, very well-rounded performer, and so I'm very proud of this performer, of her successes when it comes to voiceover, and many more to come. So hopefully stay tuned. For more announcements when we can announce them. And but other moments, I had the privilege and pleasure of being on Dove Cameron's team and watching her grow through the Descendants franchise and into the singer and actor that she is now. And the projects she's got going on have been incredible. To note to late teens, and to see that trajectory of where else she can grow her brand and everything has been incredible. We also have represented Javon Walton. He was our young drug dealer, our young ashtray on Euphoria, HBO's Euphoria, and and very much what a very adult content show for a young performer at the age of 12, 13 to be on, and to do it well and do all that was asked of him when it comes to that performance. And now he is a professional boxer. It's wild to see grow, and when they, especially when they go adulthood or being 18 and up, that of when school, college, or professional are in front of you, where they go. We've also worked with he is from Raven's Home on Disney Channel, and to see him from a young performer, and now he's a full young man, and his growth spurt in the middle of the show was wild for the script writers to work around and everything. But when you're practically growing up on set, and that show having multiple seasons, and you're there through your childhood, through your adolescence, you got to work around the growth spurts too. So, so yes, many with young, and it is interesting for that they are working actors and have their professional job as a young person, and they're seeing the world through a whole different lens of having working on set week for multiple years or what have you. Of course, their breaks of hiatus and have summers off when the show is not in session or the film has wrapped. But to see the trajectory. Oh, also, actually, also, Chloe Coleman, I bring her up, that she is an incredible young star. Watch her be in films and shows with these very well-known actors, their projects, and to be what feels like when you're watching her performance, leading them. Um, in her young is insane. She's incredibly talented. Please, like, keep an eye on her and that trajectory. She's but yeah, to moments that are success stories, to then be able to team build with my TV and film agents, along with a voiceover agent, then myself, and say commercials, and we're that full team on behalf working on behalf of a talent, is a sight to see for sure.
It's got to be very self-satisfying to see them in their career take off and know
It
that
is, absolutely. Yes, even building from even beginnings, even building from your grassroots, and when you're still developing and you're new, like seeing that moment click for talent and creatives when either they've discovered that moment and acting choice in their self-tape that casting really dug into, or they finally get their booking after auditioning for however long, and everyone's on their own journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So it is absolutely very much self-satisfying when in representation that the creatives that we, on camera performers that we love, stage performers, all of those moments, vocalists, singers, all of them, when they not and not peak, plateau, but the moment that I can do this. It clicks for them. It's like, I can do it. Chose this, and this is what in my hearts of hearts, and I'm a performer. But they also believe it too.
Right. You
This is
believe it.
very tough industry.
Yeah. Well, what are some of the ways that you find new talent personally?
Yeah. Um, Well, being in Los Angeles, hub of it all, the acting school, a lot of here, have their own brick and places. So then we are to discover and scout talent that way. They have their for months to a year, what have you, and then we are invited in to they say their final showcase or their final performance for potential representation. The colleges here in Los Angeles and across the US with performing arts majors and programs that then we are invited in to say their final work or finals performance well for potential representation. And among other moments that post-pandemic Zoom capabilities such as this have occurred. So we've been able to discover talent outside the Los Angeles area as well across the US and the world.
Nice. So showcases are a big part of what you do, going to these various events to find new talent. If
Absolutely. It's a
if
great networking tool on both ends.
right, and if a performer is getting ready, let's say today they're performing for you at a showcase,
Yes,
what piece of advice would you give them before they get up to perform?
for sure. Make sure you're off book. Make sure you're memorized. If the showcase is made up like a real audition, make sure you're ready for a redirect or a second take, if you will, of your performance. Um, and then also make sure I'm trying to remember what I was like what I've seen and like some mistakes, like errors, people have like, oh, you did do that. Oh, be wary of space when you are performing. Not all stages are alike and what have you. And you'll always need to remind yourself, like, yes, you're auditioning for potentially on camera, but you need to project as if you're on the stage, project to the back. There's a lot of missed cues or missed performances when we can say hear you. You're always projecting and bringing that energy when it comes top of your slate to all the way through your performance. Remember, every performance has a beginning, middle, and end, whether you're performing it live or you're self-taping it. So you're creating a world that you are inviting us to. We may not know your script. We may not have no. Yeah, we definitely don't know your script prior to performance. So you make your choices as strong as you see fit. The interpretation and character breakdown you have. You are projecting from that copy or commercial copy, whatever it is, but bring it all and risk it all because there are also missed cues and missed moments. Performers at showcases and scouting events when you are thinking that you're making the proper choice or the dramatic choice. When we want to see your full people hold back, don't hold back.
So, what are some of the it factors that you're looking for? If you see somebody perform and
Mm,
you think to yourself, "Wow, they have it." What how
got
do
it.
you tell somebody that or what causes that
Yeah.
factor in your mind?
Yeah. Yeah, those who don't hold back take big old risks performance. It is again, everyone's at their own stage of being able to showcase their full authentic self and their vulnerability. But seeing that potential, even though from your beginnings of acting, is top of the slate. That intro is me to you, your personality, let it shine. Gravitate towards again that confidence. Those who could say play to the back, even though you will learn and or be directed to say an on more tight knit microphone boom mic space or set. And but also those who hone peace and know when you know what you're capable of, world's your oyster. When you're still discovering that and I mean training always, you're training your skills at all times. When it comes to all of what I gravitate towards are those folks fully present themselves. They're not shrinking away of say That's what their interpretation of the role. I'm sorry, not interpretation role, the performance. And there are those moments. Like it's very complex to have also making sure the audience is intaking that and coming on the journey with you and being vulnerable and letting that curtain down and everything like that. It is that's why we have the rare moments are stars in Hollywood and and on stage in those they've reached that they know they reach that vulnerability, what have you. So what I gravitate towards is those who are willing to go there, willing to take that risk. And like I said, top of your slate, all the way through the performance, seeing that confidence, seeing that authenticity, seeing that willingness, power of will, seeing that willingness to give and give it all, that's what I gravitate towards.
And you mentioned with any script, there's a beginning, middle, and end.
Yes,
And can you explain that to somebody who may be hearing this for the first time on what that interpretation means to you?
for sure. I think I'm trying to remember. I think it was I read an article interview of Viola Davis, and a queen. Well, whatever. And she was expressing how she breaks her scripts and also when she receives it, of course, TV big TV moment as we majority of us know her, How to Get Away with and the Shonda Rhimes writing style, and everything. But when she first got the script, to learn her character and everything, the story has a beginning, middle, end. Writers are not only creating a world and of what they wish to be interpreted and performed, and maybe it's based on their life experiences or a fantastical moment of a world that they wish to see or how they wish to see the world as in reality. But she was describing while you are writing and creating, what are the functions of this for say these words written on a page that character had a life before you got seen, before you got to that moment, whether it's a monologue or television script or a film script. Before you got there, what was that character doing? Their beginning, right? um and so it's not just how this goes or how the monologue finishes, but it's the whole bit. What were they doing before that moment? What were they doing after that moment? So you're so you are invoking the world that this character is in or living or circumstances. But then as you roll through the emotion of the script as well, remind yourself that there's a whole life here before after they're written on this page. And sometimes in auditions, you only get a snippet of that. You only get a slice of capacity of this human condition or animal, whichever voiceover character you are, or what have you, dinosaur, whatever you want to take. But you get a sliver sometimes. You don't get the full script sometimes. You don't get to know the full story or how the writers wrote the story. But sometimes you just only get and then how do you perform that fully to then for casting to gravitate towards you to book the job? Create the beginning, middle, and end. What was that character doing before they got to that moment? What are they doing during that moment? Those are your acting choices as well when you're reading and completing the scene. And then the beat that you're getting the end after interpreting that scene. And that and moment or conversation or emotion or intimacy, whatever relationship to a child or whatever the scene, the beginning, middle, and end. That character has a whole world before you read it and after you read it too. And even when you just get, say, that short copy or that short scene to form or audition with for, say, that co-star role or even that guest role, and you're not privy to that script or what have you, that's where those character breakdowns really come in. That's why we have the Viola Davises of this world.
Because they're obviously very good at what they do.
She is. She very much is. If you watch it already, Woman King is a fantastic, some of her best work, and I mean, she's brilliant. She's brilliant at everything that yes, she is blessed to have studied Juilliard, one of the most prestigious of performer universities on the East Coast, but also and she's had to discover for her role in the studio system, the TV and system as well, and as well as being a Black woman in this industry, and but to those notes, she's wonderful at what she does, and she knows at her core that she's a performer, and she knows that she's an actor. And if you watch her interviews, she's had moments of doubt as well as shared that. There have been professors and or coaches that didn't understand, say, her performance, and there were teachers and coaches who did. So then also the plethora of training and performing coaches out there, all of them, just like any or sports, everyone has a different perspective and a different style of how they share their wisdom. So make sure that you're always asking questions and using all your resources available to you for those different perspectives, as well, to then grow yourself as a performer, to very much a well-rounded performer that you should be.
So going back to obviously, so the great Viola has had doubts in her lifetime, in her career. And that's what I try to tell everybody that I work with, is that everybody that you admire on film or TV or even on the runways, they've heard no's just as much as anybody else.
Yes.
You know them today as the great performers that they are, but they've gone through the same journey that everybody else has gone through.
Yes.
And hearing those no's and moments of disappointment, maybe
Yes.
self-doubt,
So,
but
yeah.
but yet they overcame all of that. And
As representatives, hear those no's on your behalf all the time as well. And that's why this is a journey indeed.
somebody's out there, let's say they're early 20s, just trying to start off and they feel stuck. What do you recommend that they should do to maybe help get the ball rolling
For
and
sure.
get
Yeah.
their career going?
I even have performers on my roster feeling stuck. The opportunities of auditions are coming their way, but it is they just not a for the role, or casting, selecting somebody else, unstuck. Well, one of my they moved, they moved homes, they moved, so a fresh Maria Kondoing their life really helped. And now they have their new self-tape space. They're on a whole new level. They're very happy in of their life and humanity. So then now, with their auditions, there's a health and wealth positivity towards them, and energy. Not everyone should move. Don't like if you don't do that. But one of my performers in real time, they moved. They were very excited, and that when you can do with what you wish with it, like that is very much energizing. To we're feeling stuck because, especially now post pandemic, a lot of projects are still self taping, not a lot in person. So then you interact with that casting director and you don't know who you're auditioning for and things like that. How do you get your personality out there on your tape and or Zoom? Um, if this is what you love if this is love, then that's what gets you unstuck. Give yourself grace. Remind yourself to have that patience. Um, but there are still plenty of things in this industry outside of being on set or outside being in a show on stage and for 5 nights, 6 nights a week, or touring said show. There are things outside that. I think people are re-energized by opportunities. People are re-energizing by going to performances and seeing other performances at work, other performers at work, fellow audience member with that performance, or you go with your community of artists together, what have you. People are re-energized by taking a break. Sometimes you just break. Yes, either buy that plane ticket or the traditional spa or what have you, or be at home doing nothing, right? Sometimes you just need that break. And us representatives, we understand that more than anyone else. So then that's why your book outs are very important, and you be honest and having candor with us and understanding is like, you know what, I just need a week off. I just need conditions, and you need to rest and reset yourself. That is other find their re-energization, not a word, but I'm coining it today. Don't forget to get outside. Take that walk your pet if you have one. Walks are great. If you don't want a full cardio at the gym or what have you, or workout or whatever, walks out wonderful. Clear that head, clear the cobwebs. But for sure, I've seen folks going to, like I said, performances and taking themselves out of being the performer and just watching other performers and enjoying yourself, reminding yourself of this being your first love, performance being your core love, and hopefully finding the supporters and village in your life that make this all worth it. This lifestyle all worth it. Like, love them. Use your village system. And even if they're also not creatives or artists and you feel they might not understand, give it a try. Don't underestimate the people in your life can with what they can bring to the table. And then people can family or strangers alike. So when we're all living among each other in kind and in kindness, like you could support system everywhere.
I love that you said too, you mentioned a lot of great the networking part of it is, I think, very important for other
Mhm,
performers, especially if somebody's living in a maybe smaller community somewhere
mhm.
and they don't really have a lot of people around them who are into the same thing that they're into.
Yes.
And but there are groups everywhere.
They're
There
we're all interconnected through telecommunications and social medias and what have you, and there are groups and, webinars and everywhere. So, it's rather of course, the Google rabbit hole of things, but there are artist communities anywhere, and we are all interconnected, through social media for sure. So there are those always trying to reach out and reach one and teach one and grow a community themselves in a positive that then a performer, say, in that smaller neck of the woods that you're saying, or smaller market, um, can find their community. Yeah.
absolutely into technology and world that we live in.
Indeed.
Now, I want to shift gears a little bit. I want
Okay.
to pick your brain, get your opinion on some of the current events that have taken place this week with casting networks. It's a big
Sure.
it's,
Yeah.
it's a big topic among reps.
Yes, absolutely.
And people who are watching maybe aren't even aware of what's taking place. But do you mind giving me a little bit of your opinion on the event that took place with in Casting Network this week?
Yes. So yes, casting networks is one of our main industry agents and managers to be able to submit our talent to casting for audition opportunities. It is basically a software piece, or how your headshot and resume become your own web page, and then you're connected to your representative's roster to be able to submit it to submit for roles that you. The networks fills this need for us industry representatives on the commercial short film vertical shorts and music video and various projects wise. So we're seeing a vast multitude of thousands upon thousands of casting director projects in all regions across the US and internationally for the support of our talent being to receive audition. So to that end, they've grown in their time. In my decade of the industry, they were around when I even got here, but they've grown in that time and to grow into the corporate entity of systems. So that then is the umbrella corporation for casting networks, casting um, and cast it talent, as well as spotlight. So for our international friends, that would be your main non-US hub of us. So to this umbrella notion, they've grown, and I to my the capacity of now, even it's been a free service for agents and managers, now it will be a paid service of software. Actors and performers have already been paying for subscription service because you're capable of having your subscription page, your page with casting networks, whether you are repped by agent or manager, or if you're not repped. So there's already a subscription price on the creator talent side involved in that aspect over these decades. Now to the service that was free to representatives is no longer. So, and to that end, there's a price points were not of value. So many of my colleagues, myself and SAG organization and talent agents, talent managers association organizations, we were it was implemented very notification. So that is upper conversation of we worked with as a community for so many years. Where's a conversation in making this palatable for parties for these now payment needs and subscription needs for the representation side. So to that end, we are our and organizations are trying to come with to a reasonable collective agreement with casting networks, and then themselves the corporate entity of that we are a community, and to implement new policies. We appreciate discussion, especially if, that they are service that revenue for all ends, performers and representation, and price points need to be of market equality when it comes. So a big to do, a big boom of this implementing policy without discussion or what have you. And so, but now communities are coming together, giving casting networks the understanding of absolutely want to make sure that the artist community and the representative community keeps on thriving. And to that end of your service needs and your service, where can we come to a mutual agreement when it comes to that? But yeah, that was the big boom this week.
Well, what happened, to kind of explain it lightly, was everybody's platform. They're one of many platforms that are out
Mhm.
there that are being
Yes.
used, but this being, one of the large ones, and
Mhm.
using it to, they've sent an email to everybody basically giving 48 hours in the original
Yes, a
agreement.
very swift blanketed email of here now you owe. No,
Right.
now
And
you owe subscription fee.
fees weren't small. They were very
They
hefty.
were not of market value. No, they were not.
Right. And so here it was, you have 48 hours to continue to participate on our platform as a representative.
Mm.
And these are fees. We are sending you a bill, is basically kind of
Yeah.
the approach.
Yes.
And
I was like, what light bill is that I'm unaware of?
right.
Indeed. Yes.
And out of the blue for anybody, just to start receiving a random, you know, large bill for a service that you're doesn't make anybody
And it wasn't spam. I was like, wait a minute. Were they hacked? Like, is this real?
So there was uproar for a few days because now I think there was a boycott went out, and
Yes.
a lot of the agents and managers, signed that and said, "Hey, if you're going to treat us this way, we're no longer going to use your platform. You're not the only person in this space." Right? And we've seen some of their competitors
Yes.
kind of pick up on this and say, "Ooh, we're going to do this and everybody's going to leave. What can we do better?" And really
Yes.
ramp up their efforts and kind of market towards their competitors even.
Yes.
So it's since has been kind of taken down a notch, the urgency, and they claim that they kind of overstepped when they sent that out. They really mean 48 hours. They're now meaning at the beginning of the year.
Yes. 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 Yeah, it was definitely a reaction of like, what? To get for an exorbitant fee was yeah, definitely something that surprised us all. Like,
Definitely
you
made
talk
an interesting week.
did you any of our leadership, any of our parties, like, did you talk to us owners about services? Was it even a conversation?
Right. Well, our time is wrapped up, getting close to the end. Any big plans this weekend that you have?
Closing time. Yeah, I'm glad we ended on the thing. I was curious if you're gonna ask about it. Plans this weekend. It's a sunny day in California, in Los Angeles. It's a wonderful, beautiful community event called Taste of Soul in the traditional Crenshaw, Inglewood, Lamart Park areas. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary and beautiful Black neighborhoods, Black-owned neighborhoods. And it is full food vendor event throughout the full today with performers, and they're honoring the Whistlers and music galore, as well as community vendors and health and vendors. And it's gonna be
That
fun
sounds
cooking.
amazing. Yeah,
It's gonna be fun cookout. Looking at that from afternoon.
I'm a foodie, so I'm already. I wish
Oh,
I was there.
you're gonna be so jealous when I start putting this in my stories. Yeah, 1000%. But very, very excited to community up there.
Nice. Well, we appreciate your time with us. Before you leave,
Yes.
one last, if somebody was interested in working with you, what's the best way to approach that? How should they reach out, or what should they do?
Yes. So, both forms of contact, say you're either in my Instagram or Jones Collective, agency.com. Also my email is in IMDb, I believe. But to be able to submission for potential representation, always definitely look at email. Every submission for sure. And always make sure that you are proper links to your casting site and your acting materials. Definitely Dropbox links are preferred. Every, system or computer system is all. So very much so, yes. Also, all the forms are say either in the Jones Collective Instagram or website, or my emails at IMDb. And you're to email your headshots, your PDFs, of course, as well as your links to your casting sites, so then we can review your materials in full for sure. And we represent all ages in all categories.
And I always like to put a note in there for people to make sure that they put in a well composed email, but mention something maybe we talked about here that will perk your eyes on there.
Yes, please. Yes, please. We meet a lot of people, a lot of functions, a lot of the time. So yes, please make sure the subject of your email can be in reference to where we have met or conversed or what have you, events in this way. So then I can summary. Oh, thank you for listening in.
And I know the perfect subject headline for anybody out there. Give this tip right now.
If you
If
do not, I know what subject of email you do not listen to this man in inbox with the next piece of advice he thinks he's giving you.
no,
You will be signed. I
no,
will.
this is a good one. No, this is for real. This is serious. Somebody's reaching out to you. Their subject line should say, "Hey Hayden, love the Cowboys. Would really love you to review my resume."
Okay, that's fair. That's yes, yes, yes. You then are biases playing to my heartstrings. Sure.
But make sure if your headshot has a Packer on it, make sure you edit that off.
I will say this to the performers that have ever asked me. It's like it does not impede my work. And you will receive you will receive all your auditions as given from casting to that end. But but everyone knows where I'm at. Hey, go Rams! Like Stafford's doing it,
Yeah.
So in LA, we support our LA teams as well. My Texan in here. Hello. Hello, Houston. Sure, then go Rangers, go Texans, go Cowboys, all of that good stuff. Jeremy, always a pleasure to hang with you.
Yeah, thank you for spending a time on your busy. I hope it's a great, wonderful weekend, and go Cowboys this weekend.
Yeah, go Cowboys. Fingers crossed. Another sunny day in California as well. A pleasure. Thank you for having me. To all the guests out there, a pleasure to be here as well. And like I said, Jones Collective in the Instagram, give a follow, and always here to be a resource, questions, and or your potential next rep.
Well, thank you guys. Good seeing everyone. Happy weekend, everybody, and we will see you on the next session.